silent. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
I absolutely forgot everything, which is really bad. Really bad. I shouldn't. I forgot to turn on the PC. Can you believe that? I forgot to turn on the PC. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But we'll call it. I hope you're good. I hope your day was good. And all that. Need to figure out how to get Cybersect. Hi, welcome in. How to get the chat running, because that's not the case right now. I can't see the chat. I mean, I can see the chat, or otherwise I wouldn't have been able to see Cybersect hi. But you know, I can't see the chat. It's a mess. It's okay. I guess that's better. Not good, but better. Not better. Nothing works. Nothing works. I have so much stuff. I have done so much stuff for the past 2 days, and I have like new things happening that yeah, it's a bit of a mess. It is a bit of a mess. How was your day, Savisect? How's everything? I think I think we're there. I've been working on these, even though we've been talking about it for a while, but I've been working on these icons for the past 2 days, and the solid ones specifically to make sure that everything works. Some of them, they don't make any sense. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna have that amount of details in a solid version of the AirPods without changing too much stuff. Like, it's really complicated for me to just go in and change stuff. Like, it seems like it should be these, and then maybe I'm getting the body as black and the mic as white as a subtract. What? I don't know. I don't know. Not much work and a lot of Twitter. It seems like a common thing. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I would say the same. I have like a ton of things in there. Yeah, hi, walk on in. Um, and we have like the regular things to go through as always from Twitter. There is like a ton of things that happen. There is one specific that we talked about last week, Monday, that we talked about on Monday, and it's not good. And it was around, yeah. Yeah, no, it is for inspiration. I do agree with that. I do the same. Twitter is mostly for inspiration. Yeah, we stopped here. But yet there is like so much stuff that happens. It is currently, as of right now, the most up-to-date place for inspiration. So I don't blame you for that. Like it's the best thing. The thing that I shared last time, which is like UI.live, is like good for up-to-date inspiration, but it's not as up-to-date as Pinterest used to be, and it's not as up-to-date as Twitter. Basically, everything that I'm seeing on Pinterest is something that is coming from Twitter. Anyways, so yeah, I don't blame you. Like, it's good. Twitter is really good for inspiration. Yes, 100%. again, the thing that we talked about last time, and the reason why UI.live is better than Pinterest and Twitter combined, uh, is is basically this, where you like, oh yeah, I kind of like this thing. It looks pretty cool. Let me click on that button right there, you know, and then yeah, I need to change these, and we need to change this icon with the icon that I'm building right now. That's pretty cool. It's yeah, that's kind of game changer in terms of inspiration. However, however, this is the best way for designers to steal other designers' work without credits, without anything. Like, there is nothing in there that tells me who has built it, where it's coming from. Does this copy paste has like a, I don't know, a tag? A something that just makes sense? No, we don't have anything. So it is our design, for sure, our design. And so if you have stuff like, let's say you're looking for a landing page, uh, something, I don't know, a SaaS landing page or whatever, and you're like, yeah, I kind of like this one, for example. It looks pretty cool. Maybe I can just, you know, take that, go there, paste it, see how it works. Is it good? Does it work with what I have? That's a nice thing. Cool, I have a base, then I can just build upon that. So it's useful. It, again, it will be our designs a lot, and most designers don't like that. But yeah, I think that's the thing. Um, a download page. You mean something like this? Shit, I can't zoom in. Something like this? Yeah, yeah. I guess this is basically what you need. That block right there of downloading for Mac, for Windows, iOS, Android, whatever. Yes. Yeah. Also, this is a fucking components. That's crazy. Um, hmm, interesting. But yeah, like that's the only current positive of UI.live, because you can just simply copy paste the content. The thing that I'm seeing is like, how could I say that? Most people, and basically based on how it works and the Figma plugin that is supposed to be used, right? You define that you can select a frame on your Figma file, and then you can upload it directly to UI.live. So it copies the exact same thing that Figma is copying, and then it saves that as an image so that you can show it on the site, and it saved the copy paste option so that people can then paste it inside of Figma. That's the base. But it's interesting, as we saw earlier on Monday, some people have copy pasted things in a way that is not entirely good or not entirely expected. So the example we had was for I guess it was like a mobile app, whatever. It was green. I forgot. Obviously, it was on Monday. I have no brain. The usual thing. I don't think we searched anything. I think it was just on the landing page here. So it might have been this one, but I forgot. But yeah, there was this, and then we just copied it, and it dropped 3 screens. Yes, exactly. So that's something that I don't really understand. Like, I don't know how it works. I don't know how they figured out that this is the image that you are seeing as a preview, and this is what you're getting. So you're getting 3 screens. One of them is pretty good, the other 2 are debatable. And then here you are seeing 3 of the screens that you are getting, but you also have a hint of 5 more that you will probably never get access to unless you go buy the thing, because there is no information about what that is, while you don't know where you can buy the thing. So you need to go in that person profile to check what they have created and if they have a link, and right now they don't have a link. Again, this is like a beta version of the website, so I get it, but I'm kind of lost. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Like, it would be great to have like a bit of a information, you know, something like this. Also, I'm seeing that they are French. Ah, they're French. Sorry. I saw business and I thought business was business, but then jardinage is very French, like gardening, but in French, jardinage. And I I'm a complain about the French. Oh, that zoomed in. God damn. You see this? This corner right there? Why is it so sharp? Why not have the same corner radius as you have on the other side? Why? 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 Also, that beard is sharp as well, so that maybe that's reminiscent. To answer your not question, integrating like Apple Pay, Google Pay inside of the app, the um, the Apple Store Kit system is really, really good and really simple to implement, and the Google Store or Google Play Store API thing that they have is really easy to implement as well. So that is simple, and the good thing, because I know that your app is mostly, not mostly, mainly like mine, which is like offline first, it works. Like, if you don't have any connection, it will not connect and you will not be able to buy anything. If you have a connection, then you will have the ability to do such thing. But it works surprisingly well. So yeah, that is more complex, and I don't think I mean, there is no way for you to communicate directly in between CloudKit, Apple, and Google Play, and Windows Store, whatever. So you basically need to hook something on your end to have like a user server type of thing, that when a connection or when a transaction is made on one device, it's impacting the rest. The thing is, and I know I need to do the same thing, and I don't want, because I don't want to have a server that I manage. The best option, and is the same thing that we talked about before. It's going to be WorkOS or Berg for your user management, because you basically will have your user database in one place, and then you can just have like a field of as both what platform, and then if it's set to true, then the other ones are just pinging that server, getting back the thing that it is currently unlocked. And then you're good. I think that's the best option. But yeah, like you will need like a third party server database structure to ensure that it checks that first, which is sad. That's what I want to avoid as much as I can. I don't want to manage users. Why do you want to build that from scratch? We have tools for that. These devs, always want to build things from scratch. Why? Why? I like again, I mean, we've talked about it before, and I like that. I like this. I like that a lot, because I personally am not near 10,000 users. And I won't be near 10,000 users, I think, for the next 2 years. I wish by the end of the year, 10,000 users. Perfect. I'm only on 2,000 downloads-ish, and active paying users that would requires basically an entry in the database. I might have 16 up on 2,000, so it's like roughly 10%. Not even, roughly 2%. So think, yeah, Perk is pretty good for free, and then the second one is the same thing. WorkOS is really good, and they give you, as far as I remember, 1 million user. Your first million users that is free or something. I forgot. Yeah, that it's written right there, bitch. First 1 million users is free. So I like that. But also I get it. So it's a bit more complex, because even though the authentication kit is free, the directory sync in between like different entities and different devices and things is already costing you like too much. So yes, but I get it. But free though. I think right now the best option, or the best thing that I have for, I mean, not best thing, but like the thing that I currently have is I put in place the sync system to ensure that my data of CAN is linked and synced between devices on iOS. So if you have like an entry here, I'm going to lose my streak today, an entry here, and you make some progress, it's going to be synced with my iPad. That makes sense. But what I need is for this to be synced with my Android phone. And so now that I know how to do this iOS first, and it kind of makes sense, I should be able to do the exact same thing on Firebase, and then have the iPhone basically do both, do CloudKit and Firebase, and then the Android just basically do Firebase only because Google doesn't give me something for free like Apple was doing, and then that should be good. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, or that's what I will try to do. I don't know if I will though. Because cross-device sync is a bit more complex. Also, what's happening here? What am I doing? Why are we bouncing right now? What's the issue? Also, did some sync happen? 1 second. Is this what happened? Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I don't mind. It's creating some movement for no fucking reason, but that it's supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen. I think it's because I'm here. Oh yeah, that's why. I see. I see. Because this one didn't remember that this was enabled. It's not enabled. Yeah. And now it's enabled. Yeah, twice. The system works though. The thing that I showcased on Monday where the iPad OS had some issues has been fixed specifically on this page, so that's good. And now we also have better management of some pages. They used to be like in full screen page, and now they are in sheets, which is the better option for iPad for some reason. But yeah, that's the thing. Nonetheless, I mean, I get it. If you need to sync in between devices and you want to have your subscription to be portable across device, like if you buy a dictionary, for my use case, if I buy a dictionary on the iOS version and I also have an Android for some reason, I would like the user to get like content on both sides. For sure. Perfect. Hi. Welcome in. How are you? I did my best. I did my best. And I timed it as well. But yeah. It will probably have to happen at some point to get like the sync in between devices and the progress in between devices. But for now, really don't have the brain power. Like it took me 2.5 months to get the sync working. Not 2.5 months, 1.5 months to get the sync working. So yeah, I'm probably gonna take a break, and that's why I'm working on other things, not that. And I'm currently struggling with these. That's the one for today officially. If we reach that point on the stream, we have like a ton of things to take a look at though. Cool. In terms of teeny tiny thing that have been popped in, this one has been on the loop for the past 15 minutes. So it's interesting. It's similar to the other one that they have shared last week, I think, which is the other way around. Like, you know, instead of going inside of the background, it goes up from the background like they have on Hover, but like it's on click. Different thing. But it's look cool. Someone else has built it in CSS directly, which is pretty cool, knowing that, you know, you can make it work. This happened. It's really cute, but that's about it. This is impressive. I don't know how long they have been working with Blender, but the fact that they are saying that they are still learning how to create luxurious lighting I think they need to stop. I think their luxurious lighting is really good. Their material creation for gold and silver, I'm guessing, or titanium, is really nice. And the shine and the dispersion of the light is really cool as well, based on this. So I think they can stop. I think they're good. I think they're good. That's the only reason. Boat, hi, welcome on in. This was fun. And I don't like the fact that they are the exact same wave every time. But I think it's a nice addition. Again, human touch for creation and reach, I guess, for the apps that you are building right now and making sure that they are not AI generated. Having a bit of organic things is good. And so this is a really, really good detail. There has been other people doing the exact same thing. We have built something really similar in the past for White Panther. I don't know if she still has this. Yes. So anything that is here, like the under underline, was supposed to be an animated brush stroke, and it was a bit too complex to make it happen. But we had like different brushes based on the active tab. I think I was a bit too high. Yeah, good stuff. So interesting, bringing like some organic stuff. Again, that's the usual. Same thing. This is just because it's notched in an indented data, indented thing. This one is bad. This is way too much space around and not enough radius right there, which I understand. In order to get the correct radius, you need to have way less radius here, and that's not an option. So they need to move it up. I think the distance in between the edge of the card and the beginning of the picture should be the same distance with the Pro badge. And then this one is okay, but they have like way too much space at the bottom compared to the side. But also, I get it. If you don't have that amount of space at the top and bottom, it feels cramped. So there is a bit of a dilemma here, which end up being basically some of the thing that we have right about, I saw that a second ago, right here. Like we would benefit from, in terms of notched, like with an angled edges are going to be better for these use cases to make sure that it just works through the type of content. That's something that people need to have and put in place and so on. This was cute. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it has been made. It just looks good. That's it. That's it. The glitch pixelated view behind. Good job. Amazing job. That's one more thing where I'm like, should I learn Rive? Should I not learn Rive? I don't know. Kinda don't want to. But yeah. It's cute. But I also feel like this is something that we could do already with animation, like motion.dev. Would give you something similar if you have the ability to understand how to create that in CSS. This is probably like easier to do, but also you could have done that in Procreate and just imported like the video itself and have like a hover and whatever. So I don't know. I don't know. What else did I take? This is the same thing that we saw on Monday, but it's like now in dark mode. So we have the hold to confirm that just redraw the signature. Going back to what I said, I'm going to repeat myself. It doesn't really matter. I really think that seeing that your signature gets redrawn while you're holding makes a lot of sense. Like, you know that you are seeing yourself sign the document. And there might be a bit of a psychological thing happening when you are, well, re-signing. But it looks really cool. about it. That is about it. I talked about this last, well, Friday, and I forgot Jason's name. And so I shared that on Discord. Jason is the creator of Mercury OS, and that's the thing that I was looking for at time. Mercury OS used to be, this is a very, very old project that I used to use for references. It is a system for a new OS for an iPad-like interface, and their goal was to get like a Mac OS slash iPad OS mix bridge thingy. It is really Apple coded, not gonna lie there. Jason is an ex Apple designer and product creator, so it makes a lot of sense. But there is a ton of things in there that are just common sense behavior that have been in my head and I've taken as truth for implementing in other places, other products, other things. And so all of the architecture, understanding how things work, how things behave in there is really, really useful. And so, you know, that's the thing that I was looking for on, I think, Monday or Friday. So if you want to take a look at it, please do. It's really good. Um, it's a good concept. I just wish we had like a bit of a date on there that I can just, go there and date. We have like 2019, but I think it's been made before then. Anyways, and so Josh, which is the CEO of Arc and Dia, has been saying that Mercury OS was ahead of its time, which is true. But yeah, really good. It is really good. In this pattern, if you've been here at the beginning of the stream when I opened Twitter likes, I have something similar. These gauge of progress dashboard thingy, I don't know how to call them, are coming in a lot. Like it's in my feed enough for me to notice and say that it might be a bit of a pattern that we can take a look at. So similarly to the notched things, similarly to the tab underneath cards, this seems to be like the 15th that I'm seeing, not today, but gauge dashboard thingy. So maybe good to have a look at it. This thing, right? Not much interest, not much personal liking of this project. However, this right here, that view right there, is to me really close to plan cloak. What's the name? Cap. Goddamn. Which we talked about last time. I mean, kind of last time. I don't need a review. Here we have basically our interface with the content that we have, or the content that we're supposed to see, and the cards or the elements that you have, the words that you know, are supposed to be in a background that is kind of similar to this one. So it looks the same. They all, this whole app is kind of crazy. They all have the cutout sticker effect, and they also have the exact same dotted grid background thingy, which right now obviously we can't see. It's supposed to be there. And that, I wish we had a way to get access to this thing, but apparently we can't. Yeah, right there. Cool. That's the exact same thing. So if I'm zooming in, right? Sticker effect with the name underneath. The thing is, this is shit, visually speaking, and this is really good. And it seems either this one has been inspired by this, it's probably the case, or again, this is a pattern. Like this is the third app that I'm seeing that has the exact same sticker effect plus dotted grid background creation. So potentials, again, we keep that in mind, and we keep looking at inspiration. Right, Cybersect? Twitter is for inspiration. I don't think AI has the ability to generate stickers effect. I'm saying this because I tried and it failed 8 times. So there is something, but that might be the reason. Yes, might be the reason. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. These are cute. We talked about icons last time, and obviously I'm building mine, and this is not going to work again. Yes, it doesn't. God damn. This thing is crazy. But they are like chunky-ish rounded icons, which I like a lot. They are very, very curved, and it makes a lot of sense. I do think that some of these might benefit from not being curved in terms of rendering and pixelation, but overall, this is a really good set of potentials. And just in case you're interested, this is the tweet in question. There is no link so far for that, other than, I mean, there is the initial link for the 1.0, the 2.0 that should happen soon. But yeah, the details of me being a fucking annoyance in terms of design, right? You look at this, the ends are really rounded and that's cute, and you look at this and this is sharp and therefore not as cute. So I wish it was grounded right there. We should be able to, but you know, small details for a good set of icons. Same thing, same design. Xperia X1 that we talked about on Monday. Similar thing. And then this happened, and we absolutely need to talk about it. So this is the same creator of that website that we showcased on Monday, this thing, which is absolutely bad. What it is a crypto website, so I don't really give a shit. But their new landing page, Lue, right here, is really, really bad. And really, really good in many places. So, I like what they've done in some things, and I hate what they have done in other places. The first thing that we are seeing is they take what is your current time zone, right? It is currently 6:09 for me, and they define the theme of the website based on the time of day right here. So if it was earlier in the day, like midday or early morning, I have different skyline effect and different color scheme around the website. That really cool, really nice concept from a designer point of view. From a client point of view, because remember, this is a fucking designer agency website where clients are coming in to get design work done, like design and development work done for them. Do you know what they do right here? Like you see this, you see design and development right there. But the main point is this big ass cloud in the center and the somewhat weird ass moon and the name of the agency, and you don't know what they do. And then you get there, and I don't know you, but if I had a smidge of a vision impairment, half of the text is not readable right here. Like if I take my usual behavior checks, which is you take a screenshot and you basically just bump the exposure by like 25% or 50%, like something just to mimic some vision impairment here and there for people that have like the need for high contrast. I have lost half of the text and you can't read it. I know that most of it is not useful, right? The only thing that is useful is what they do right here. But then Lua Studio is an end-to-end powerhouse of what I don't know. If I don't have good vision and I need high contrast in digital design development and direction, what the fuck does that mean? How isn't this the thing that is highlighted, right? In contrast. And then you have our whatever, all anchored by powerful storytelling. And then we think that last one is the most important, but that's the thing that you are not showcasing and highlighting. Like it makes no sense. So that's the first thing. Contrast ratio is really important to me as a designer, and this is really shit. Then they go into the thing which you have a bit of a hint right here of this is a bit of a Greek statue thing, but they basically play gods and design gods overall with these fucking illustrations. And I mean, I get it. You want the thing to be in the cloud and whatever, but this is a bit too much for my taste. In the second illustration of the landing page, so that was kind of weird. Then you arrive here, everything has micro interactions, everything is available. You have shit that are like kind of how can I say that? Available. You can change colors, do some styling, whatever. It's interesting, it's fun, but I don't think anyone would click on it. If I'm a client, I don't think I will click on that. If I'm here, I will see these things, which is fine. But then these don't have any harvest date, so it feels like it's a mistake. And you have the ability to go see details, and you have like the whole detail things, whatever. That's good. But you then arrive here. This is weird. The layout shifts. You don't understand why. Then you're still in the gods. Fine. You have services. Cool. They're in the clouds. And then you have the thing that pissed me off the most, which is you have a bit of a preview of their work. That's good. And then you have this, which is who we are. And you put yourself, like the creator and the secondary person that is the dev, as Greek bust statues. And my subconscious thing in the first second I saw that was like, okay, so these bitches are taking themselves too seriously to put them alongside the Greek gods again, and the gods and things in the clouds and all that. So the work is going to be extremely expensive. I'm not going to have any say in what they are doing, and I'm just going to be at the mercy of what the fuck they want to create. Like I give them a brief, but then if they create something and I'm not really happy with it, I can't really say anything. Like that's the level of ego you need to have to be able to put yourself as a bust, like a marble bust things. I know there is the whole glitch graffiti things to be like not necessarily godlike, but still, like the whole thing is really high level for no fucking reason. Like that makes no sense to me. But that first subconscious thing that is, right, obviously a designer point of view, might not be something that the client think about. Might be. We never know. And we will not know because I'm not gonna work with them for now. Yeah, the whole website could have been shorter overall. I think this should be above. Like, I understand that they want to build storytelling and shit for the whole system, but I mean, if I'm not paying attention and my cursor is like above or in the center of the page and I'm scrolling, I don't know that I have like hover effects, hover options to see like details. And I don't know. It feels kind of bad. It feels kind of bad to me. However, again, there is a ton of things that are really good. They have a lot of mini micro interactions, things here and there to, give you a bit of a hint of the thing that they can do. That's good, but I think this is good for designers. I think this website is mainly for designers to be interested in the design work that these designers are doing, which is fine, but it doesn't feel good for client work. Like it might not be. Chris, your internet is the issue. But welcome back. So that's the whole thing. I think it has some potential overall, but I think there is a ton of issues with illustrations, with accessibility in that whole website, to make it make sense. However, one of the good thing, which is really similar to what we have talked about on Marco's website. I don't know if he has updated, he hasn't. In the, I think .os is one of the most complex one. Let's take the Instagram one. In the vision that they have right here, right? Marco has created the overall thing, right? It's there. You have what I've done, what was the plan, and then some visuals, right? And so here they have what we've done, what was the plan, and then some visuals. And that's about it. So if you are a designer and you want to showcase what you have been doing, maybe this is good enough. And you don't need to explain everything. It would be appreciated, but maybe you don't need to, right? That's a bit of a thing that I'm taking as a potential. But yeah, other than that, like it doesn't need to be like too complex of a case studies presentation. If we go back to Marco's website, it's a bigger, it's a bit of a reference. Other options, .os is a way more complex case studies presentation, which we have gone through. We have gone through before, where the whole system is an on-scroll transition presentation, storytelling of the whole system. Chandra, hi, walk on in. I'm going to do that in a second. And so all of that is similar, right? You end up with like that whole initial illustration thingy. Then you have what we've done, whatever. And then more story, more content, more data, more research, more information that you don't have on other projects on that specific website. But, right, there is both. On Marco's website, you have very detailed case studies and very undetailed case studies because it doesn't really matter. Because, it's just, it's the things. These are really cute and they have micro interactions, but other than that, not much more definition, explanation, things. in there. Oh, how are you, Joe? How have you been? How's everything? The design, the work, the school, all that. A lot of things on your side. But yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's a new landing page for a new. I mean, not a new, but like a new landing page for an existing design studio. And I don't know. I think it's really good for designers, and I think designers will talk about it and have been talking about it for the past 3 days on Twitter specifically. And, you know, it's good for business. The more people are talking about your website, the more people are going to see your website, and therefore, the more business you're going to get. So, good for them. Um, they have been teasing this for, let me see. The first tease of that website was a long time ago, though. In these, there's a tad before. I feel like it might have been around here. But yeah, there was this. Did we do that before? Yes, we kind of did. This one, first tease. I mean, do it. Do you need the money? Yes. Then don't do it. Do you not need the money? Then do it. I've told you before, I have done that before. I have said it's not gonna work. Here is a refund, like a 100% refund of whatever you've paid me. And here is, you can keep everything that we've worked on so far, but we're not gonna work together. That's it. Like, it works. And they can complain, and they will complain, but you can do that if you don't need to. I think this was the initial hint that they were working on that website. But if that's not the case, I'm gonna go back to the initial thing where we've seen the first logo, moon thingy for the first time here, and I think it was roughly around here, right about there. So this is a January 2024, and they have released it in May 2025. So they apparently have been working on this website for more than a year. And I don't know. I don't know. I understand, like, there is a ton of details and thing that made it make sense to take so long. But they could have launched something and add details along the way. They probably had something else in the work anyways, but it happens. It happens. But yeah. Anyways, fun stuff. Fun stuff. If you haven't been on the internet for a bit, Sketch has had an update. If you don't know what Sketch is, I don't blame you. Sketch is the only competitor to Figma, I would say, that is as big or used to be as big So now they have implemented auto layout, they have implemented flex boxes, they have new a new system for blurs, they have plenty of things that are pretty useful. They have updated in the Command K slash Sketchrunner plugin that the Sketchrunner used to exist, and then I think Sketchrunner got acquired by Sketch, or at least got killed by Sketch implementing something similar. Better vector handling, and so on. It's really good overall. But then again, I don't have access to Sketch anymore, which is really sad. I wish I had. I don't have a license, and I can't see and I can't test them again. So we'll see. But that's a new thing, which a lot of people have been saying that the new version of Sketch is giving them a lot more speed. It's a lot more reactive, and it's really good for illustration and for design creation. So maybe we'll go back there at some point. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, they have like a lot of stuff. If only it was cross-platform, I agree. It's good for cross-platform devs. Like devs can access the web version, but that's it. Like it's basically getting in the file for the devs, but not necessarily working on the file from any platform. So that's I get it. And then this was cute. I'm not into keyboard, so I don't really care. This is added to Motion. I think this is motion.dev. And it looks pretty cool. It seems to be a very smooth SVG effect transition. So there might be a lot of good things happening in motion.dev or in motion in general to get like your SVG transitions better in code. That's the case. Good news. Not the case. I don't know. This one was cute. If you so the thing that Ilya has pointed out is the strength of the blur increasing as the cover gets lifted much higher. Right here is basically what we can now achieve with gradient blur in Figma. You can define that this is transparent, cool, and it blurs the content, but with a gradient blur on that element specifically in the background, we get that effect that this plasticky glass things on top gets, right? More distance, more things. That's pretty cool. Dabshi, hi, welcome on in. So Buttons wondering if you could tell me if any of them have potentials. Yeah, for sure. If you have like a link to a screenshot or if you want to share them inside of the Discord, please feel free to do so. But yeah. The Jitter has also had like a bit of an update. A lot of tools have been having updates lately, which I'm happy with, but also, I don't know. So that's nice. We've been having a lot of things popping off, so that's nice. This one was really interesting. The whole drama around it is really impressive, where basically this post right here, which is the post from Rahul that has created this thing, is like straight up stealing their content and straight up stealing the content from here. It's without crediting anything, which is kind of impressive. But yeah, that's a lot of drama on Twitter that I don't give a shit about, to be honest. But it's fun to see. That person right here might be simply stealing everything from everywhere, as we've been seeing for the past few years. So we will see. That person came up or discovered a dating site for developers. I think is an interesting concept. I don't think it's good, but you know, we will see. I kept this one just because it made me look and think of Opera, just because of colors and the fact that it's a bit of an olive type of shape. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Thank you. This is new as well. Again, Spline has been having updates, and so now you have progressive blur and gradient inside of HANA, which is their 2D version of interactive elements. So we now have a very powerful, better than to me, better than Rive thing with a lot of digital graphic design stuff. So that's interesting. And their version of the progressive blur looks way better than what we have in Figma right now. So that's interesting. We'll probably take a look at it at some point. And then this one was just cute. That's about it. That is about it. So this person right here asked, is the icon better to be centered inside of the element mathematically, or is it better to center the icon on the circle of the search? When you look at it from the circle of the search, it looks absolutely offset, and I hate it. And so what Sebastian has said is the blur trick is one of the easiest thing to know how much weight an icon look and or take basically. So when you blur the thing, you can have like a bit of a blob to know how much visual weight is taken and how much is offsetted on one side or the others based on the center of the thing that you want to place it in. Therefore, you can have like a bit of an easier tweak here and there. So that trick would basically give you the left one rather than the right one. Maybe it's a matter of a half pixel down instead of being like fully centered. But, you know, that's a small detail, but this trick nonetheless is still a good thing. Still a good thing to have, or trick to know. This one was interesting. This is the UX tool survey thing, and their whole design is really good this year. We didn't really talk about it, but yeah, everything in there is really cute. They have like a ton of really nice looking design, as always, as they do every year. And yeah, specifically the result of the survey for who's winning in what categories and so on. So if you haven't seen that, please do. Please go there. Take a look. You know, that's appreciated. Again, Figma already has issues still. Not gonna go through that. This whole thing for their thesis of Primal is something that I've been talking about in the past, and we've been talking about that in the whole coherence of creating elements that are resizing and behaving based on their base, and basically have natural transition from state A to state B to state C to state D to state whatever of the same element based on how you navigate the website. But this whole thing is pretty simple. This is extremely limited in terms of what they have, but their whole website, their whole design studio is much better than the Lua one, for example, in my personal opinion. And yeah, we like it. Same thing. References, good concept, good ideas, you know, like that. Nice to take a look at. Nice to take a look at. So, other than that, Josh, which is one of the many, many designer that is building a subscription tracker, and this one is pretty powerful and pretty well designed, so that's why it's kind of working. Has been adding a thing with the subscription icon being the moon phases where you are. I don't know if that makes any sense. The whole thing is planet-based and space-based, so I guess. Cat, hi. Happy look. But yeah, that's a small detail that could be useful for some people. This is the thing that was for year-end before, that I kind of took as a reference, but they made an attempt to use AI to generate something that is similar to what they have created. And I just wanted to showcase it because they say that the strokes are not editable. That is true. They say that there is inconsistency in the strokes thickness. I don't really see it. They say that there is no resemblance in between the two. I feel like these resemble more that person than this one. They said there is a lack of an emotion in depth. Maybe, but I kind of disagree. And then they say that there is an ethical and legal concerns when you are using AI right there. Potentially. But then this being part of a community, why not? Consistent with other tiny PFP, I don't think that's a good thing, personally speaking. Like if your profile picture looks like every other person on the website, you are part of the community, yes, but then you don't stand out. If everyone is doing the same thing, anyways, like it's not really. I mean, it is consistent, not that good. So Anyways, they say accuracy in following the reference. Yes, because you traced over it, kinda. I guess. And then authentic, possibility to trademark. I don't. It supports of the artist and community. Yes. The thing is, if you give me this and you ask me to do this on top, and I'm tracing on top of this illustration, I then have editable stroke, resemblance, emotional depth, and maybe the creation of this take you, I don't know, an hour, and the creation of this take you, I don't know, 35 seconds. And then once you have your base, you can just trace over. I don't know. But there is something about it that I'm like, I don't agree with all of these points entirely. I understand why you are making these points, but I don't think I agree with everything. Anyways, this is Sketch Bank or Sketch Auto Layout. The same thing as Figma Auto Layout. And I'm really sad, by the way, that Sketch didn't use Auto Layout as a name because basically what happened is Anima Auto Layout was a thing in Sketch. And this is something that was from the plugin Anima. I forgot to do that, that's true. From the plugin from Anima a long time ago to basically give you auto layout inside of Sketch. And it was called auto layout. And they could have acquired Anima and use it directly inside of Sketch and be good. But then they didn't. and now Figma got it. And it's really sad. Because it was really nice. Anyways, full details. They could have kept the name because they had the name first. That's all I'm saying. But now it's called Stack, and that's a thing. This is just for your discomfort because I had to see it. It's a bit of a simulation thing, and they had to make sure that the simulation doesn't break. I had to see it, so you have to see it. That's what happened. Kind of breaks. Uh, this one was fun. This is a Figma made illustration, as always. Denny, hi, welcome on in. You just missed the entire Lewis Studio rant. This one was cute. It's a nice green. We do like it. So that's the thing. And then again, stickers all the way. Everyone is doing that. So I don't know. Good. Good. This one was really cute. I think this is a nice, like, overall illustration for an onboarding for an app related to locations. I don't know why I'm saying this, as if I was building one. But it looks nice. It looks nice. It's pretty cool. And then this one was a really cute illustration. Very, very simple, but really nice looking. And the concept of scalability, adding blocks to existing elements to scale, is pretty nice. But the way that they are rendering them is really cute. So I wanted to showcase that. Then this Magic Path is a new AI builder to one prompt drop design. We have the landing page open right here, and we're going to go through it a bit later today, I think. And we'll see if it works. We'll see if it's good. We're going to use the exact same prompt as usual. And yeah, I'm not hopeful, but it looks interesting. It looks interesting. And then I think that's what happened to me. Yes, it did. But you know, that is 15 years of screaming. This one is really cute. It's a bit of a combined mix of the Dither plugin and a tracking of a triangle that has like a gradient. It looks pretty nice. It's just the small details, but you know, why not add that to your website? A bit more grain because we like grains. And then the thing that I was talking about, these gauges are coming back, and there is like a ton of them. So interesting stuff. And then, as I showcased earlier, also that's which get out. For a long time when I was in an agency, I had clients coming in saying, I need to build the Tinder off, I need to build the other off. And now I'm seeing a lot more products say, this is the cursor off. So Magic Path is the cursor of design. That's how they are marketing it. I don't know how that happened. As I said 2 years ago, cursor didn't really exist. And now we are referencing it as if it was market standards. But this is a good reminder for anyone that is building something that maybe if you build something that is good enough and great and people like it, you might have exponential growth in no time without really realizing it. So yeah. No ISO. I go through the entire thing, Central first, and then we go there. Right here. The entire Twitter feed first. But yeah. And so Denny, to just answer your question, it is the same thing that I sent you as a message. It has good tiny interactions, tiny details here and there, but overall it is kind of bad for clients' point of view. I think it would be wowing some people, but not necessarily converting. And there are some sections that could have been put higher in the hierarchy of the page rather than all. About it. That's about it. So, uh, you have a lot of buttons right there. These are really, really, really bouncy. Really, really bouncy. The fact that you have like a bit of a slot for them is interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it's interesting. I like V3 personally because it's a bit sharper, but I can see why you would like the rest. Um, uh, I think going back to your initial question of telling you if any of them have potential, I think all of them have potential. They are really similar. Like you didn't go through really drastic changes. We go back to where I was a second ago, somewhere along the line of here. That is what I call a drastic button. Right? It has a lot of stuff happening. Like you can see the small details on the corners. You can see the element itself is 3D-ish. It has effect on hover and so on. So that's a difference. You say the last one, is this one the last one, or is this one the last one? Because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm guessing 6 and whatever. Therefore, this one is the last one. And yeah, I think it's interesting. You have added what we call bloom on the text and the icon, so that it's kind of shining. It's as if it was backlit, like a keyboard. So there is like an LED underneath the button itself, so that it shines through. And then you have the element itself that is, well, inside of a slot. And you have grains and textures. It's still plasticky, which is interesting. I think they're good. Like all of them, I think they are pretty good. The only thing that I would potentially do is have the text be in a font that is closer to the width of the icon itself. So if your icon is that thick right here you are probably medium or yeah, medium-ish, regular medium. No, that's medium. Maybe if you had that in semi-bold or bold, to be closer to the icon itself, so that it matches the style together and it had like one coherent thing, might make more sense. Going into bold might make the holes on the O and A closer to the dots, not that close, but like in terms of thickness and importance, a bit closer. Right now, your two dots for the nose are similar to the L's width, but the rest of the icon is way more important. So that's a thing. The button itself is really cool. I don't know about the slot per se. I don't mind it. Like I think it's an interesting thing, but you might need a bit of a oh, yeah, you might need that. So if you have your button is probably 32, 40 something, 36 button. Your pink is, you know what? gonna be faster if I just do that. If I just take a screenshot with the colors. That's big. That's big. Zoom out. Zoom out. So roughly, not the same, but kind of the same. If I'm getting this with background color that you have, so for you it's a bit darker, but not too much, but a bit darker and a bit lighter overall. Then, so I'm just gonna pick this color as a base and then make it darker, not much. So the first thing that I'm saying, as always, I'm seeing the corner radius that are the same. So if I have like a corner radius here of 8, and I have 8 in the distance, I would have my slot be at 16. That these two things like match radius, but that might make it a bit too big, which is probably why you went with 8, because that way it kind of match with the rest. You also don't have 8 in the middle, you have like 4. These little, details. So for me, it would be 12 around here, 8 plus 12, or 8 plus 4, 12, whatever. Nonetheless, the thing that I'm saying is you have your inner shadow, which is your first thing at the top, and then you have a drop shadow, which is also an inner shadow, which is reversed here, and you have made it white. I'm gonna make it like pure white so that makes sense. But if you do this, it makes kind of sense, but in order to make it more natural, if you wanted to, I would probably say this inner shadow number 2 would benefit from getting red at like 3%, 8%, like something really, really deep in the highlighted elements so that it is bouncing back. So you have the line that is coming from the top that is bouncing on this, then refracting on the button itself, and then refracting in the hole a bit. Right now it is just a very, 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 very subtle highlight of pink. And then on top of that, you can 100% add like a bit of a lighter version. So you can have like a white and, I don't know, 4% or something, so that it gives you this pink-ish hint in this bounce, but it keeps that natural bouncing the color here and there. That's the first thing. The second thing I'm seeing is that your shadow here inside seems to be your inner shadow almost default, like at -4 right here, and still black. If you want to make it more natural, you can have a bit of a combination of both. So you get the black at like 100%. And then, what did I say? 100%. And then this, get a blending mode that is going to be overlay or something else, usually like multiply or darker or whatever would work. Like overlay is kind of making the saturation a tad better, so that you have this really, really saturated element right here. Once I have this, I will usually bump down the saturation or the opacity of that layer to like 48, 40%, whatever. But making it like fully 100% in the beginning helps you see where it is and when it falls, or where it falls. And on top of that, I'm going to duplicate it, then change this to not necessarily like an overlay, but maybe a multiply, so that it's darkening that highlighted element. Probably going to make that -2 instead, and that gives you a more natural transition in something that would be how the light would work. So it is darkened for sure, but it has a bit more saturation so that you can see the depth of the element. And same thing at the top. So you have basically another inner shadow at the top, and instead of making it like white, you make it white, but you make it white in like lighten or screen or again overlay, and that gives you something that is more natural in the transition. From what I can see, you have made the good decision, so congrats on that, of having either two inner shadows, one that is a bit lighter pink and one that is like the edge of the button itself. So that's a really good move to make the thing work. So if I just do that, right, it's an option. It kind of works. Tony, hi, welcome back. And so on top of that, I think overall it kind of works. It's just a matter of ensuring that your light physics are on point and that your bounce and your elements, things work together in a way that makes sense for the places that you are using this. At the end of the day, and as I've said before, because I have less knowledge, kinda, yes, because I have less knowledge on the thing that you're working on, you know what it is, but I haven't seen the website, I haven't seen the rest. I don't know if it has really good potential when it comes to this thing that you're sharing, which looks pretty cool. Like that whole button sheet of research is really nice to see, but it might not work with the rest of the page. Like, yeah, if you're building like element first, then yeah, why not? There's nothing bad about this. Like this is a pretty good potential. Yeah, I mean, I would say the main issue that we have with these things is in order to render that button as physically as we can, it looks like a pen eraser. Specifically, if I'm zooming in, when you see like the noise effect that is on that texture, it looks like an eraser, more than gone. But don't have noise on this one. It's like really clean overall. But yeah, that's the thing. I don't mind going back to this. I don't mind the potential of having like the container being like sharper in terms of its edges. I think it's really bad. It's a personal thing, but I don't mind it. And then from what I'm seeing here, again, your container has roughly a 45-degree transition shadow. So you have your light source that is somewhere around here and it's going this way, right? That's the thing. This is not going to work. Right? That's the light source is around here and it's going 45 degrees ish because I'm seeing that this side is highlighted, the bottom is highlighted, and then here we have shadow. So with that in mind, your button could also take that highlight behavior. So rather than having, right now what's happening is this, your initial, like your button light is going down vertically, but your container light is going down 45 degrees, but there is an inconsistency in between the two. That's why this one is cleaner in a way. But if you want to, and you can, get these things to be like such. Right, having your 45s, then these, all of these, needs to be exactly at the same values. So something is at 4, something is to be at 4, 4, 2, 2, 4, 4, 2, 2, -2, -4, you know, all that. Makes sense. That way you have something that works together. It's not necessary. I would rather have something that is vertical rather than something that is at a 45-degree angle. And the main reason for that is your shadows and how they work will never be exact to how things work. Yo, and hi, walk on in. So the radius that I have here is equal to my radius here, whereas in reality, this is not the case. My radius inside is going to be smaller than my radius outside. So that 45 degrees is necessarily or inevitably going to end up with issues. So congrats on landing on the edge. Right here. Have a good rest of your day, Chris. Take care of yourself. So yeah, that's the thing that I'm seeing overall that you could add. So potentially having like a bit of a better radius on your container might make more sense to me. And then the design that you have is really good overall. Maybe maybe you could have one of these. So you get a drop shadow that is at 0, 0. So 0 blur, 0 X and Y, and a spread of 1 or 2, depending on how much you want it. I think 1 is going to be pretty simple. You make that like black or pure black at 100%. So this is going to create some sort of a border behind your button itself. And if you put that specific drop shadow at the bottom thing, it's going to be impacted by the rest, and it basically creates the slots in which the button is slotted in. So instead of just having floor, you have floor plus a hole in which the button is going through. So if you look at if you have a keyboard, you probably do. And if your keyboard is a bit flat, like flat keys, you will see if you look at the keys that they have a bit of an outline. This keyboard is disgusting. I need to clean that. So don't look at it. But I can't type. I can't type. Get the fuck out. Nope. I guess MX keys, if we have like a pick from the top, right? You can see here what I'm talking about. So each key that is slotted into a hole on the keyboard itself has basically a bit of leeway around it to let the key move around and be clickable and whatever. So all of that is basically what you gain by adding that drop shadow at 1, 0 blur, 1 offset, and 0 blur to get that. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm a very low profile keys person. I don't like bulky keyboards. I like flat. I like small titties. So, that's what happens. I like them flat. Not true. See, I don't like these ones. Like the mechanical one, even though kind of low profile still, I don't like these. It is extremely low profile. It's not like the mechanical that they have made in the past. They have like these ones, which I don't like. That's bad. That's bad. I mean, the one that I like is the Keychrons because they're good overall, and they make one that is extremely low profile as well. So I do like that. The Slims, like these ones, very much Logitech inspired. Obviously biased. But yeah, I'm not a big mechanical keyboard person. But yeah, overall, that's pretty good. The other thing that haven't talked about, did not talk about, will not talk about, I don't know, is for the metal keys, which this is in my draft. There. If you look at how they have created these icons, so obviously this one is not on, right? This is an off setting. I made this one with red for no fucking reason, but this is an off setting, so it is not lit. And when you look at it, the white is not white, and there is a very, very subtle inner shadow inside of it. So the concept here is to have your keys to be backlit. And when they are backlit, it means that the element that will have light coming through is transparent, but the parts that are not getting light coming through are not. And so these non-transparent parts are casting shadows inside on the LED and at the bottom. So that's what creates this really, really, really subtle shadow, drop shadow inside of the icon itself. And so you can do the same thing with your elements by having that drop shadow in and out, whatever. And then when it's lit, when it's on, you get a bit of glow around it, which is what you have, specifically what you have done here. These kind of glow around it makes sense. But maybe that glow could be just on hover. So when you are in default state, it has this, shadow type of thing. It's not pure white, but kind of white, but not necessarily, but you kind of see that it is there. And then on hover, it lights up and glows it while you are hovering it. So that could be a thing. But again, I don't know. But that's what I would do. It had, to answer your initial questions, it has potential, yes. And I do agree with that. I hate glows on text, but it kind of makes sense in some situations. Yeah. And going back to what I said before, I don't know if I made it. I don't think I did. Like, what the fuck is that? Oh yeah, that bitch. Um, I did, yes. I mean, if you have good points, I agree. I did do it. So if you take this, and oh, I think this is gonna be big. Yep. If you take this and you make it the size that it's supposed to be, so based on this, right, supposed to be roughly this. So yeah, 15, 16 in height. Let's do 16 in height. That makes sense. Right there. Getting white on this. That's gonna break. Probably. It doesn't break. That's crazy. Uh, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that Poppins? It is. Got A. How do I know? Um, so right now I'm using semi-bold, which is, I think, a tad thicker than the one that you had. If I go in bold, the output, the thing that I was talking about, is my overall, let's take the K because that's fine. My overall thickness here is, well, 2 points. However, my thickness, that's going to be breaking, my thickness around here is 1 point something. Like, it's not much, but it's closer to 2. So we have something right now that is similar to vertical element, but not necessarily to the horizontal element. So something in the middle of that. So bold is going to be like extra bold, potentially kind of works with this because we end up with like 2.5 and this is like 3. So that's, potential. Um, Not ideal, but potential. And it will help to have these in terms of unity in between the font itself and the icon to make sure that they belong together on that button. The regular trick, make it centered 100% on the line height, kind of helps sometimes. Right now it's still offset. Still offsetted. Need like a 105% or something. 104. Meters. But that's a thing, right? That's a potential. You also have, I think you'll have equal values on both sides, or at least it seems like it. And you seems to be at 16. 16. No, 18 is good. 18, 20, roughly. I think the bold makes it wider. But that could be an option. And going back to what I was saying with the potential, if your value here, instead of being pure white, is a tad offsetted, like a smidge, right? It doesn't affect readability much, But then on hover, you could have it like pure white with a drop shadow, which is what you have, 0, 0, and then white. Get your glowy effect just on hover. That could be an option. Not necessarily a good idea, but if you really want this, potentially. But yeah, that's an option. If you want the user to be more focused on the logo itself, then maybe what you have done here is good, right? Getting that in medium, getting that in semi-bold, as I said, um, could be enough to just have the difference and the importance of that icon. And then on this sheet that you have created, you have either the icons, but also you have the phone icon right there, which could work better. What I would say is book a call with the icon of the brand. I don't know if people would understand what it means just yet. So maybe having the icon itself makes more sense. But, you know, whichever icon you want to put in there to communicate what the thing is doing might be good. Might be good. Okay. These are really, really small. That's gonna be tiny. Yes, yes it is. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think this is good enough. Specifically because I just made like one single effect on these two. So I wouldn't. But getting glow makes like is a lot more complex than just this. Just one one drop shadow. You basically need to have offset and spread, and you can't really do that on a text or an icon. So that's a bit more complex. However, if you don't want to bother, that's also an option, right? Not bothering is a good idea. If you just want it for some reason to get your effect without, like, let's get rid of these two things. Right, bitch, let's buy 1 second. Then, if you just wanted to have this element right here without the creation on your own of all of these drop shadows and effects and whatever, you can use the morph plugin, which is going to give you like anything, I forgot, anything that you could dream of in terms of creating a shape with an effect. So if you want something that is geomorphic, you can create this shape with the morph plugin and say this thing is supposed to be really like intense, and maybe it needs to be a divot, maybe it needs to be kind of flat, maybe it needs to be the other way around, maybe it has like a radius here and there. And so the morph plugin is going to give you in one click basically everything that I just did manually, with on top of that like your directional elements and so on to give your shape the effect in no time. Like if you need something that is glassy to put on top of the content, you can do that. and so on. So morph is really good for that. You very go quickly. All of these effects are the same that I've done, and so it is optimized, but it's also done fast and done in a way that is basic and that might be useful and good enough for you to get the job done in terms of textures and other elements inside of the design file, like the website and other things. But if you want something that is more realistic-ish, you will need to go into the creation of 16 fucking shadows on one element plus 3 other ones here, plus potentially like drops on gradients, colors, and whatever. But it's a mess. I understand. But you know, why not? Why not? But yeah, morph is good. Yeah, other than that, other than that, you have the noise. You have added noise in the background of this, and you basically have dust and not just noise, but no, I think white was good. I think white noise is pretty good. And what you had is fill. It gives you the same effect, kinda a bit strong. But regular thing, a bit of an overlay, so that it matches with the highlight and the shadows and things, and potentially making it like 80%, 72%. Regular behaviors. These, however, adding effects and textures and shit on your buttons, really good for Figma. Not gonna complain there. It's gonna be good. It's gonna look good. However, in code, it might be a bit more complex to achieve. If it's just noise like this, you can export like the image that is added right here as one element in full opacity, no blend mode, no transparency, nothing. And then the dev is going to use that image and render it on top of the buttons. But it is a bit of a trap for performance on your website. So, as you know that you might remove these things, and you might not, but you might remove these things to make sure that they are performant and they are useful. Going back to where we were a second ago, here, they don't really have noises and things, but they do have like a ton of effects and ton of things that are kinda non-performant here and there. So yeah, that is to take into consideration when you're building things. Yeah, I mean, thinking about performance is really something that you need to do. Anyone that is watching right now, if you are a designer and you are building something and you don't know what browser, what devices have as capabilities, it's going to be a bit of an issue. Like the thing that we have with Stony, for example, is usually anything glass related is okay in Chrome, not okay in Firefox, okay in Safari, but it's also like extremely resource intensive. So I do love it, but it's not good. So anything that is glass related is gonna have a work on, and like anything from Black Algo, for example, that we were looking at Monday, is like it looks cool. This is a video slash GIF things, plus potentially the particles are coded. But like most of this is kind of heavy, kind of complex to re-render, so that's why they are going with GIFs instead of images, as they used to in the past. Like if we go into Authkit, which is the other from the same person, these are not GIFs. These are coded and fully glassed up elements, and everything kind of works. Everything is clickable. Everything is, interactive, and all of that is a lot of performance. As soon as I stay here for more than 5 minutes, my computer is freaking out, and the fans are running, and I don't like this. So you need to take all of that into consideration when you're building something. So these effects, even though they look really cool, and it's really subtle. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that's how people will see it most of the time. So it's not going to be as sharp as you think it is, and so your rendering is going to fade and have some differences in between the expected output that you have, which is like as clear as it can be because it's Figma and it's vector based, compared to render on the screen. It's going to be pixelated, depending on the screen that you're watching the thing on, obviously. But yeah, so there will be some smoothing, there will be some things. If you have been on the, I don't know if it's on Twitter mostly, but it kind of is. There has been a lot of people that have been talking about the CRT effect lately, on not necessarily effect, but like so why do we have so much titties? Goddamn. Yes, this is LCD. I mean, there has been like so many that I've seen in the past few days of people that are like showcasing the games that they used to play on CRT, and the same games now on better screens. They look like shit because the CRT had a bit of a phosphor thing, a pixel blur that happened, and so you ended up with something that is a bit more smooth and a bit better overall than what we have now. So yeah, that's the same behavior. That's the same thing to take into consideration. The output that we get here and the existing generation of the pixels, it looks way better here than here. But it's the same thing. There was one that was really good, but also like right now I'm kind of, yeah, these ones are the main references. And so these things, again, I've talked about that before. These things is because of the knowledge that we have, and because we know how a half pixel is going to render on the CRT and it's going to render on a perfect pixel thing, you can play with it, but most of the time you end up with something that is belated and the pixels are kind of sharp. So going back to my regular behavior presentation because it helps a lot of people understand this. A 1 pixel by 1 pixel element is perfect, right? If I'm pixelating the view, it's gonna be the same thing. 1.5 pixel, which is like a half pixel, which again cannot exist in regular behavior, right? Regular Figma behavior, it's sharp. No issues there. As soon as I pixelate it, you went, god damn it, as soon as I pixelate it, you end up with 1 full pixel and 1 half transparent pixel. That's because we have 0.5. If it's, can I duplicate this? If it's a 0.1, I'm getting a 10% opacity pixel right there. 50% opacity. If you get like a 155, you're gonna get like a 75% opacity version of that color. So as soon as you know that, and you know how to use this to your advantage, you will end up with the ability to create curves and things in your designs overall. But it's something to think about when you're building. This is what you're seeing in Figma when you are doing the thing all the time. So if you don't do a Control P here and there, Control P on Mac, I think it's Alt P on Windows, but I'm not sure, or pixelate, you will have something that looks jagged, but it's fine. And so with this, if you had like a heart, a color, something that needs to be a bit more faded along the edges, you could do that with an aliasing by knowing this. So this is the exact same system. We used to know that because CRTs have a different version of the pixels. It's rounded, blurry, it has some gloom to it, and also it renders some colors differently. We end up with something that is a bit better here. So that's something to, you know, think about your effects. God damn it. Anna, what? Don't do a spin. Don't do a spin. Goddamn. Tiny. I'm tiny. How are you, Kenna? How's everything? I called speed. But yeah, that's the overall thing. It was a long explanation, but yeah, it's working. Working. Do you have more questions, Shinjiro, about your buttons? I said that I like the version tree better or more because it's sharper than the rest. I think they are interesting. I'm just unsure about your container. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But it works for you, and if you think that that would work for the thing that you're building, it's good. No issues there. Gonna be pixelated. Gonna be really pixelated. So that's also because this is really tiny. This is a 12 watts. I I would never. For a button, I would go 16, 18 in terms of font sizes. So yeah, much bigger. And therefore pixelation is going to be less of an issue. But yeah. Also, now that I'm looking at it, I think this alone might not be a good idea. Because right now I'm seeing this and I'm like, isn't this just... just a little face. The little face was a mustache. It's a ghost. Not the case, I know. I'm biased now. But then on the page, we have it right there. Yeah, it could work. Again, not saying no, just saying potential. Potentials. Anyways, so going back to other things that we need to talk about. This happened. You're welcome. I don't know. Okay? I don't know how Opera has so many versions of their browser and why they have so many versions of their browsers. I don't know. And so this one introduces smart exercises. It introduces breathing exercise. It introducing sound waves, things that are in the background while you're working, but it is mindful of what you're taking, what you're doing, and it asks you to take a deep breath and do your activities. I don't know what to think of it. I don't really care, but it's interesting. It's really interesting to me to see how many fucking browsers Opera is creating. As in regular browser, Opera regular, then GX for gamers, then Mini for things, then we had Opera spots and whatever. And yeah, it's debatable. Yeah, you would have like sound systems with the sounds and things. I really don't know. I do not know. I do not know. I didn't click on that though. So this is debatable as always. But yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing. Again, I don't have sound, you don't have sound, we're good with it. We'll see. Maybe it's something that will never pan out, which makes sense. But yeah, so that's something on the same realm, I would say. In I think here, yes, Vessians shared the letter to the ARC members, and this thing is the why did we stop working on ARC thing, and they explain almost nothing, other than we decided to stop working on ARC 1 year too late. Like we should have stopped working on ARC basically 1 year earlier, and 1 year earlier was basically when they released the version of ARC that kind of worked and that people liked and people had access to. So what I'm taking from that entire letters, which is not really a letter, but right, entire letter, is based on our findings, we shouldn't have created ARC. We should have released it to the public, got some feedback on it, and then stopped. That's what they're saying. And then they basically said DI is better and we want DI to succeed and whatever. So that makes sense, right? It's their secondary product. They also ask, will we open source ARC, which could be really good. I think if they would, that would be amazing. But they are saying that they have like a secret source in the thing that they are calling like an ADK, an SDK for ARC development, which I don't think I trust this. I think it's bullshit. I think they just don't want to. I think they want to be sold and not open sourced, mainly because they are non-profitable. Like the only profit that they are making is from the merch store, which is not enough. So, and then we will probably have access to the next months, I'm guessing, because I'm one of the ARC users, therefore I'm probably going to get this. From what I'm seeing here on that video of the and how it works, it looks like Barry and Edge, and therefore I'm not really into it. Yeah, that's the situation. It looks really not bad. However, some people that have been on Twitter and talking about it have been saying that because they have had access to it for a while, they have been basically using it every day and making it their main browser most of the times. So that's an interesting thing. That is a good thing to know. But some people really, really like it. But you know, that's a thing. That is a thing. Anyways, last one. This. So, usual behavior. You know how it works. This is Magic Path. This is the newer app that comes in that is supposed to be creation of design through prompts. So you can create something. Let me see. I'm guessing I'm needing to create an account, which makes a lot of sense, as always. This whole thing, right? Makes sense. And then from there, I have 50 components that are left for my creations, and that is fine. You have multiple options. You can describe your vision, customize your content, and then have a component that is made from there. Cool. Let's get started. You have, in terms of the UI itself, your component and your regular chat behaviors on the right side with pre-made prompts so that, you know, you can burn through credits without really doing things in a way that makes sense. And this is called a component. I would love to do that with a full page. The interface in the background looks like something similar to Figma. It seems to be some sort of a Canva-like behavior. You can open your chat from this icon, have refreshing options. That is press thing. You can drag them around by clicking on this, but not on the Canva itself. Component 1 is my current project, I'm guessing. And I have 50 components left. It also exists in light mode. That's something, and we will not use that. And the usual behavior is create a streaming platform with a purple accent color. And that's all we say. We never say more than this, so that it's fair. It's the shortest prompt that we can have. And it is not optimized for these types of apps. I know that. But we want to see if some AI generator things are going to be more efficient than other things. But yeah, that's the thing. I might need to say main page. Stream platform main page with the purple accent color. I think that might be better because this is going to be a component based behavior. So, you know, to give it a bit more oomph potentials. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. Also, cat, what happened? Did a cat hit the spiders? Or did the flatmate said no? Interesting loading screen. Applying design, creating headers. Fine. I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'm seeing that the 49 how to out of 50 dropped when this changed. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it on does this reading header switch to done. There's one more action, it's still at 49, so that might be full prompt things. And we'll see. It takes a bit longer than other things, but I'm also guessing that their servers is under load because they just posted that on Twitter earlier today. So yeah. I mean, that's a good thing, okay, right? No one in your room is pretty good. I like these. I like what they are saying right here. So they have, you can expand them. Header, hero section, trending row, categories, grid, section, main page. That's pretty good. I do like it. I do think that this is a pretty impressive system, I'd say. A long time though. Okay. You have the code. You have the tabs. You can create a variant. You can create a flow. You can edit the component. Filter Eclipse, hi, welcome in. How are you? And then you have refresh, copy, and delete. Cool. They say your streaming platform main page with a purple accent color is ready. Let me know if you want any changes or extra features. Let me see. That's not good, but it's better than nothing for sure. We don't really have a play button other than this. And it's not great, but compared to the other things, you have also that doesn't exist, but you have clickable elements, you have play buttons, add to playlist, trending rows already there. They have some issues, right? Right here, for example, this is clipping the content. And then you have your categories. We have micro interactions on the icons and hover states. All of this from a single prompt. The output is not good. The input pretty well working. These things don't work. Streamly kind of works as an element. But, right, that overall being able to one prompt the thing, it took a good 5 to 8 minutes to generate. Let's not lie here. But that's pretty cool. The code is in the non-free plan for that happens. And then you can have integration with GitHub to get your thing directly inside of Codebase or the Figma integration. That, so far, is way better than Galileo, which is way better than Stitch, because it's the same thing. And third clips to answer your question. I have a full video about it. And it's trash. It is pure trash. It was pure trash before, and they just acquired Galileo AI and they rebranded it into Stitch. That's it. This thing is, if I go there, is basically we use the exact same prompt as always, and we said a streaming platform with a purple accent color, right? So I said a streaming platform with a purple accent color, and it generated this, which is a streaming platform with a green accent color for the images and a red accent color for the rest. However, in what they say the design of the homepage of the streaming platform has been generated featuring a purple accent color. No. Not a single purple anywhere. And it's just trash. Like even Galileo itself, which is dying, right? But these things are good for like references, but that is better than what Stitch is giving us. And so Google has acquired Galileo AI to create Stitch, basically just rebrand it. And they don't even use the entirety of what Galileo is giving us. You had the exact same thing with the themes and whatever around here, the edit Figma encode in each of the files. The main difference that we have is that Galileo was giving us 3 screens in the beginning, 2 screens afterward. And now Stitch is giving us 1 screen every time. Not 3, 1 screen every time. So it's really bad. And so you can twitch the themes. However, when you twitch the theme and you like, this is not purple, and you change the thing to purple and you say apply theme, it regenerates the entire thing from scratch. And because it uses components that is reusable component and that have like a layout that is predefined, it's okay. But the regeneration of the design took longer It's fine. I love to talk about shit things. It's good to make sure that everyone is aware that it is shit. So if you haven't seen the video, you have the entire thing. The video is like 3 minutes long, so it's an easy thing to take a look at. But I changed the theme. It's just changed the color of the background, but not the images, which is kind of sad. And then I asked to make the setting page, and it's still shit. Compared to if I log in again, I don't know if I can access to my previous things. But here I said a detail page, or maybe it was this one. I forgot which one it is. Yeah, detail page for a TV show and a video streaming platform. The main color is purple. It worked. The initial Galileo thing kind of worked and did something that was okay. I mean, kind of trash, but okay. The main issue that we had on this one, I had 2 video on Galileo already, is the whole system, the whole thing that they are describing underneath is absolutely not what they have made. So when you look at these and you're like, the first design feature a large cover image of the TV show at the top with the show title, genre, rating that are prominently displayed. When you look at it, it kind of works, but it's like not entirely true. This is more the design that we have here rather than this, but fine. And then we have a brief synopsis is situated below the main detail alongside images of the main cast members and prominent purple play button. So you have the brief synopsis and then the cast members and the episode and things. So that's okay. But then after that, you have the second design is the TV show cover image on the left with the title. This is full screen, full width, but not on the left. And then you had the exact same thing underneath, and what they are explaining basically is not true. So we had this issue already, but they had like a better explanation or better amount of text, greater amount of text in Galileo. And I said the same thing. And I said create like the settings page. And we did the settings page, and these ones are okay. Not best, but okay overall. The thing that I don't like about this, and the thing that we absolutely didn't like, was they basically said stuff that don't exist. In the second design, the setting page features a tabbed interface at the top. There is no tabbed interface at the top at all. Not a single tab was there. And it's really bad. And so Google acquired them, right, to, I don't know, make it better and call it Stitch. So we tried it. So this was like 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago now, and then this was at the beginning of the year. We asked the same thing, and so now it's just 2 screens. And they did the exact same issue. The thing that they were describing is not exactly what they have created. And the settings is kind of similar. The only thing that I'm saying as a positive is Stitch itself. The layout that we have here is a bit more designer friendly because it has a lot of icons, but at the end of the day, it's really shit and it shouldn't exist. So going to what we are looking at today, which is Magic Path, the fact that right now I just generated this thing and it basically generated code that I can interact with, in which the content seems to be semantically organized in a way that makes sense. And even though it took more time than generating an image, it generated something that is potentially usable, not good, but potentially usable in basically a prompt, and my prompt right here is the shittiest bitch I could have done. Right? I mean, create a streaming platform main page with purple accent color is really, really bad of a prompt. If you go into, I don't know if I like this one. I might have. Someone on Twitter has done something and talked about the fact that obviously we are kind of doomed as designers because these apps exist, and they have made like a prompt on Stitch that is a bit better. It's been like a fat ass 3 days, I think, since I liked this. The person in question has a green profile picture, and they have generated something that is kind of green. So if I see something green, I'm gonna take a look at it. But I also have no hopes that I'm gonna find it, because I know how I like so much stuff. Yeah, that sounds like a normal thing, right? That sounds like a me thing. That could have been the same person, but also might not. Nothing new. Nothing new. Come on. Tell me that I have liked, at least liked the post. Or one of their posts. I guess not. I guess not. Maybe Dan would have the thing. Maybe I have doubts. A lot of it. Lots of doubts. Like there was, I mean, basically what he talked about here is the results of someone else doing like one of the prompted things. And so basically, this is one of the prompt. I don't know exactly like which AI they used, but I think this is I mean, I don't. It's right there. It is ChatGPT. But you know, it's great. I didn't open that thread earlier. Goddamn. Yeah, that one. That's the thing. So this one from that's the one I was looking for. This is the prompt that they have given. Also, we can't really read it because it's blurry as fuck, but they have a ton of detailed instructions inside of that prompt that says this thing should be a specific amount of size, a specific amount of radius, a specific amount of blur, whatever, and it generated this page, which is much better than what we got from the shittiest prompt that I could give. But again, the goal of that shitty prompt that I'm doing every time is seeing how the model can interpret something from the marketing manager point of view, right? If you are the marketing manager and you're like, I need this thing to be a specific size, I need this thing to be very, very simple, it needs to just work, whatever. I'm probably not knowledgeable enough to know exactly like how to ask for things, right? Also, this whole prompt right here is also like it's longer than this. So that's something to take into consideration and to think about when you're looking at it. But also, right, it really has the most detailed prompt with Xcodes, layer details, irregular blobs, whatever, like the names of the divs and so on. So, yeah, that's an interesting thing. They're also saying that it's kind of fake, but you know, it's interesting. So, nonetheless, at the end of the day, it's a question. Stitch is shit. Magic Path seems to be pretty good. From that single thing, it seems to be pretty good. What I'm not really happy with is this. Like, I wish you could have access to something that would be using credits to get access to code, using credits to get access to other things, right? You know, like the 1 week limited trials should be 1 week of pro so that I get the full array of what I can do, and then I'm hooked, and then I go to pro. But right now, that's not the case. They want me to buy pro today to get access to things that I don't know exactly how it works. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. But then again, this output is really good. Oh, and you can also scroll inside of it. As long as you double click on the fucking page, you get access to this. That's good. But yeah, so Eclipse, if you are looking for something that is like a potential match for, you know, an AI that would help you generate UI in a way that makes sense, this one might be good. As always, this is not like the first time that we are seeing design tools as AI assistant or AI assisted elements. So that's an option. The other thing, even though we haven't really used it much, is here in Figma. If you have access to Figma and you have like a paid seat in the company that you're working on or in anything, you can go in the AI thing and says draft or first draft thing. They have an option to say, I need like a basic whatever. So I need a landing page for a streaming platform, right? And if I can type, that makes more sense. With a purple accent color. I think landing page is not going to be good. Home page is going to be better. And so this is using, I think, ChatGPT and Claude at the same time. And this draft by Figma is giving us something that is a bit more designer friendly. It's also mostly mobile and not desktop. And it's also generating images, which costs them a ton. So that's why I love using that, because it just make them pay while it's free. And this, if you're building an app, is not good, but not bad at all. It is much better than most of the things that we've seen so far. And it gives us the ability to just get a design and restyle it in like 15 seconds, ensuring that we have something that just makes sense to us. And we asked for like a purple accent colors. This one is pretty cool. The light mode with really much purple is kind of crazy to me. But, you know, with that, you get something, you get your design, and then you basically have a screen for the thing that you need to have. And that took me way less time that we had on Magic Path, and way less time that it took on Stitch. and Magic Pass give me code. Stitch give me something that is copy-pastable into Figma, and Figma give me a Figma file. But that's overall pretty interesting. The other thing is, and I don't know if it works now, I don't think it does. It doesn't. Interesting. Here on Figma's site, there is the Figma Make thing, but it's coming soon, and that's gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna be able to have like an assistant-ish type thing where I can talk and chat and interact with inside of Figma, which will give me the exact same stuff that I just did here, but for site. That's basically it. For site, components, whatever, and it's gonna probably end up being something that generates code and components and content in this fashion. And so I think potential good stuff. So again, if you are looking for an AI assistant for design and you have a Figma account in paid tier, it's currently the best option. You have others, right? I haven't talked about most of them. We have a ton of others AI tools that exist. Even this list is not up to date. But Creathy, Visibly, Motif, and Figure are four of the others that are really okay. Hero UI is kind of new, and then Galileo is dead. And then the other three are mostly UX related. But yeah, this one is kind of new. And we haven't tried it yet, so I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's good. Might. I think home page for a streaming platform with a purple accent color, and I'm probably gonna press send, and it's gonna say create an account. Exactly. One day we'll predict something else, but yeah, so far. I pressed the button already, so it should just, launch it. While that's working, I'm gonna pee. 1 second. Impressingly enough, it's not done yet. So the thing is, Hero UI is a apparently code-based editor. It's not necessarily just UI. and it just created 16 files. With so much content, and just as I sat my ass down, it finished. Oh, you know what? Better than I thought. Better than I thought it would be. However, it is really similar to the other ones. We have play buttons, pages, search bar, profile with a menu, stations with nothing in it. I don't think I can move in between pages. That would make more sense or no sense. I think that you have started watching with the progress in the things, some non-carousel with absolutely broken elements. That's interesting. And overall, a pretty okay page. Not good, but pretty okay page. No play, no plus, no whatever. Obviously, nothing works. But the good thing about it is that we do have the code. So if we know what we're doing and if we know what we need to create, you know, pretty good. It's split into TypeScript, so that's simple to understand. And if you have your hero section, for example, you have your entire thing in HTML with Tailwind. So it's basically not TypeScript, it's just Tailwind stuff, but wrapped into TypeScript containers to make sense. The footer is useless. But yeah, and so you can't, that's interesting. You can't edit the code. Oh, you can edit the code. You can. You need to be in dev mode, which is going to get a cease and desist from Figma again. But yeah, that is a interesting. Oh, that is red. It does something that is pretty cool though. The overall output is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. And yeah, I don't think. Again, I don't think this is viable in terms of also that takes names from known TV shows and things without really having the right content in it. So I don't know how to feel about it. Yeah. Also, these buttons don't work. It doesn't matter. You know, it's fine. But yeah, the system here is a better generation. So I don't know. You have a select and edit thing, so that's really good. If you wanted to change the text, if you wanted to change stuff specifically, that's good overall. But yeah, again, this is like very much V0 slash lovable slash bold UI interface. I think as a designer, these tools are not as good as we think they could be, mainly because the output is code and we don't really have the understanding of what needs to be in there. But for dev, it might be useful to get something that is a tad bit, I don't know, better than just a Figma output. Because you would have the code and you would understand what it could be, what it could be used for, how it could be used for, like shaped and changed here and there. That makes more sense. So potentially good. But yeah, again, like we have like so many UI generation tools that exist that I don't know. Apparently now we have an AI website builder and generator that exists here. I didn't know that this was like a full a full news section that is right there might be a good idea as well. I've seen Loophole in the past already as well. Yeah, like, again, there is like so many things, so many new tools that exist that I do think at the end of the day there will be like an app one day that will just take over everything and makes a lot of sense and be replacing me, which I can't wait to be replaced, and over by something else. But yeah, that's basically where we are off right now. Just not good enough and not bad enough. Like it's right in the middle at a point where the people that don't need design work are happy with it. The people that need dev work are okay with it, but not happy with it. The designers that need dev work are happy with it because they don't understand, which is my case. And it's right in the middle. Like the example that we have is Convex or Chef, which we talked about in the past. Chef is basically something that will generate the back end and front end, but front end is bad. Right? So yeah, if you want like an emote generator, I think, and I'm kind of sad about it, but I think Rev might be the best option. Kinda, right? The thing that we used last time, where we kind of generated these things, like Twitch style emote of guy with a beard and glasses, right? I mean, yeah. So, uh, you know, Rev is pretty cool. Uh, let me send it to you so that you can trace over if you wanted to. The thing is, this is a PNG, so you can't do much about it. You can trace over and get something out of it, but it's not that good. And you know, an option. So that's Rev. You also have Dream, I think. 1 second. I think I have it on my phone somewhere. Daydreams. Daydreams? Daydream. People know. Like this thing, see this one, sorry. There is an AI for tracing stuff, which if you want. But yeah, Sea Dreams is an option as well. It's a new AI generation model that is made by ByteDance, so TikTok, and it has like a lot more realism in there. It's made for realistic output because the goal is to create something that is TikTok friendly. Basically, you can create like images and content that will be used on TikTok, but also for content creation. And they do really, really good content. Overall, the output is really nice. The fact that it also has a good amount of text understanding is pretty crazy. But yeah, Sea Dreams is pretty good. It's just I don't know exactly how easy it is to access because it is the Chinese version. Grace, hi, welcome on in. Welcome back. So this is pretty cool. VO3 just dropped in, but VO3 is for images, not images, it's for video, but it also has a $250 threshold. So yeah, Cactus, hi, welcome on in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Thanks a lot for chatting. Appreciate it. So that's something. It's been a week, Chris. You haven't been here. Like last time you've been here was like basically the date. 425, a month ago. You know.
Cactus_Rui is now following.
Appreciate it. Practice. Also, we have some skag right there, which is really sad, but that's what happens. That some skag. It happens. It happens. So the thing that I was saying, Aaron, is this. So that thing right there, if you have, and you do, right? If you have the ability, you can come here on this thing called Figma. And you go there in your plugins and you look for image trace. And there is a plugin called image trace that is, or image tracer, that is paid. It's a paid plugin, but you get a certain amount of like usage that you can have. So from there, you can say that you need the thing to be in color, you need the thing to be with like more colors. I don't know exactly how much you want to get. Like, let's say you need it like a 16 bits color scheme thingy, right? It will generate this. You might need like a 32-bit color output. I think the blue outline is going to break everything, but you know, that's a thing. And then, you know, like that's an option for you potentially, because right now I just have one left and I'm probably not going to use that on this. But if you can generate like a big enough base sheet, and you can then just trace over it, and then you will have something that is pretty good. Like if I just go in 16 bits or in 8 bits color behavior, because that's enough to give you what you kind of need, that's a pretty good option. You know, overall, pretty simple. And then you will need to clean it up. But yeah, that's an option. Image Tracer is pretty good. Illustrator is free to access if you know how. If you have access to Illustrator, Illustrator can trace other images really simply. Image Trace is a feature of Illustrator that is really good, and it is at the end of the day an SVG that you can just export as an SVG and put it into Figma or put it somewhere else if you need to. So that's a thing, that's an option, it works. You have so many options there, that's all I'm saying. So Rev here is it's made for God damn it. It's made for overall realistic outputs. So the beacon that I used is pretty impressive beacon. It's a lot of fat, but it's a pretty impressive beacon. And this one was better. I used this one, but you know, the thing is the trace will not give you, or will not require you to trace and draw lines in Figma. You will have the thing traced for you, and then you just need to clean up the points. And there are plugins to clean up the points. There are other things to clean up the points. Overall, it's just a matter of pressing the Option key with the pen tool and just click on the points that you don't want to have. It's basically that easy. God damn. But yeah, Rev is good. Who else? Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if tools have, like, I'm always looking for UI generation because it, makes no sense, but I have never looked at AI for illustration thing. I know that Recraft is something that is or has been done as pretty good. Draw is one that I've seen before, and Illustroke is kind of new to me. So, right? Let's create a new account for everything because that's how things happen. Also, Chris, thank you, appreciate it. Let's say it's personal. Let's say I'm a software development person, so I don't know shit. Drink! Thank you, Chris. Welcome on in. And I need to create an icon set. Yes, emotes icon sets. Can I select multiple? I can select multiple. Make the art generation and maybe a logo. And no, I have never. How did you hear about Recraft? On Twitter first. Great, bitch. So, I need a Twitch emote of a guy with a beard and glasses. A Twitch style emote? I guess Twitch style emote is going to be better. For a guy with a beard and glasses in vector. In vector? It's just in vector. Just in vector. What can it do? How did it work? Is it good? Yeah. So that's kind of bad. That's much better. This doesn't look like vectors to me. This looks like pixels to me. I'm guessing, like, overall, this thing is going to be oh, you can vectorize stuff. That's crazy. Well, that looks like vectorized version of it. That thing on the side is not scrollable. That's crazy. And you can restart it. in ways that makes no sense. You have a style. You have your styles here for so that you can get. I want this. That's the thing that I want to have, which is a logo type, right? Whatever. And because I have asked for a face, it makes sense that it kind of struggled to do so. But yeah, like maybe you need these. Yeah. So I don't think I have enough credits today on ChatGPT 3 to get you the thing that I'm talking about in my head, which I haven't said much, so you don't know. But the overall thing, oh, the extracting the prompt is not free. That's crazy. Basically, if you ask ChatGPT to create or liblib, I guess liblib would potentially work as well. Liblib is similar, but I don't think you would have access to it. Again, because it is Chinese. And if I scroll too much, I'm probably gonna have some issues. But in terms of titties, which is fine. We like titties. But these exist, and these prompt things, character sheets, how they are created, is or are pretty good overall. Like not that good, but pretty good. And so you can generate characters with multiple emotions and styles and things by creating what we search on Pinterest. So if I'm looking for like character sheets and I define with LibLib or whatever other platforms that give you prompts and other things, what needs to be extracted, right? I need this. Maybe I need this. I don't know. Right? It happens. You can create and you can say I need well character sheets based on something. I know that Theo has created some of them. I know that I have created some of them in the past. I don't know if I still have them. I doubt it. Like I have created these ones before, right? Kind of not that good, but that's some of the initial ChatGPT illustration style before it started to be the exact same thing for all of their images. And you know, like there are options, there are stuff, but they are not necessarily as good as we want them to be. So yeah. Bang. Not bad. That's the thing. So you have options. That's the only thing that I'm saying. And you will probably find places or stuff like lately on Xiangshu specifically for me, I'm seeing a ton of these, which are impressively good for how they look. Like I am impressed by the roughness of how realistic that can happen. Like this illustration could have been done by someone, but no, it's not. It isn't. Uh, and you know, like it it is impressive. It's kind of sad, but it is impressive. Like look at these. Look at how cute that is. Uh, you know, it's interesting. And there is like the whole prompt of what they have created, and you can buy stuff and so on. But you would be able to generate something if you find like a style that match with you and you like the existing output. You can see how they are available. Good job, me. Able to generate expressions and other things from there. So like character sheets are gonna be pretty good. The initials. So if you have ChatGPT, again, you can just say you need a character sheets based on something, and let's say character sheets face emotion. You get this, right? You send that to ChatGPT, and you say, I have this character sheet things, and I have this picture of me. I need to create a set of, I don't know, 8 views from these expressions using my face. Can you generate that? And maybe it does. And maybe it doesn't. But yeah, that's one that looks kind of similar to, yeah, this is AI generated. This is what ChatGPT is generating. Okay. Not necessarily this one, but this is the type of thing that it will generate. It will create something like this with the character in full screen and multiple versions of the same right there. But yeah, so if you just know, or if you don't know, just do that. Just look for one of the references that you could use, and then once you have it, and right, one of these. Potentially, you can find one that is beard as a starting point. Maybe that's enough for you to just say, well, you know, it's maybe that's you. That's mostly me right now. But maybe that's the emote style that you want to have. I don't know. And that might be your initial thing, your structured reference. Reference sheets are going to be the most useful thing for you, and we have so many. We have so many. We can find all of them, and some of them are going to be easier to use than others. The least amount of details we can find, the better it's going to be. Like, for example, I use this one for my current emotes. I found these, and at the time that I did this, I thought that my hair was really similar. It is still similar, but I used this for creating the version of my new emotes that we have right now, which is right about here. So I used it as a reference, and I drew it myself, but I used that as a reference. And so, obviously, based on what you said earlier, you may not have the skill or ease of use that I have of creating the drawings around it, but you can see how that with the spike right here and the way that this section is kind of similar right there. So I use the same thing based on how I already have my emote setups. I just have to change the hairs. That's easier for me. compared to what you need to do, because you need to start from scratch, basically. But, you know, like, it's an option. It's, if you find one that seems natural, that seems to work, that seems to be aligned with what you want to showcase, that's good. The thing that I said last time is emotes do not need to look like you. It's appreciated, but you don't need to have them exactly from your face. The best preference that I would have is going to be Plush. Plush is getting, I mean, she's making emotes all the time, so obviously it's different, but she has things and creations that are not necessarily aligned with how she looks on stream. Also, VTuber, so that is something. But, you know, Plush is something. If we go into Perfect, god damn it, Perfect Lioness has lines, right? And so it's just lines. And, you know, it's not necessarily your face. Good to have your face. You know, not a necessity. Not a necessity. Yeah. The reason why I'm saying this is that this is good. Like, this, to me, is almost a better emote on Twitch specifically. The main reason for this is the whole system and the best use case of emotes is when someone can use your channel emotes somewhere else and be relatable to it. So for example, Stony has the birds emote, and I'm using potbot emotes often. Like, I'm napping all the time, and this emote is one of my most used emote across the entire Twitch platform. Like, that's the one that I sign off with. That's the one that I'm using for everything. And, you know, that's the good thing. This one is the most used emote by my viewers on other streams. Like, it's just people are using it just because it makes sense and it works with what can happen on someone else's stream, right? Something can happen and you can have a reaction. It's not me, it's not my face, but that works. Some people are highly using this one when they enter the chat here. The cache is one that is also really used. So all of that should tell you that this is something. Like, the initial thing for emotes was you can share a part of a stream that you like, and you like it enough that you subbed to it, and you share the emote on someone else's stream, and someone else's stream chatters see that emote and say, I need to have this, and then the subs to you get that emote. That's the initial idea of how and why emotes work. There is a ton of inside jokes per channels for sure, but it's also, it needs to make sense for any other use cases. So the cache makes sense, the eyes make sense, the shiny makes sense, at least to me. And the first emotes that I made, right, these ones, like that eye thing, was the initial. You were not here at that time, and the idea was to create this emote, and that would give you, as the viewer, the ability to do that. Which we did. And then removed it. We did. And, you know, like that's an expressive way of communication. And the goal with this is because we have, in some level of partner, you have the ability to get like an emote, and then you get the reversed version of the emote. So yeah, I can just have one, and the viewer can have both, basically, was the initial point. But yeah, this one was really good. This one was really good. I think I should probably bring it back because it's so nice. It is so nice. And it was also very much creepy when you enter the chat and you just have a flood of eyes coming in. But yeah, like shit like this. Maybe. Could happen. Could happen. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, like that whole thing is very much simple because you can use it. Like the Figma emote that most people don't know that exists because no one have access to it. Like it's like a tier 3 type of situation. But it makes sense on this stream, right? It doesn't make sense anywhere else because you don't. I mean, on any other streams other than the designer stream, having a Figma account or with Figma icons in the chat means nothing. So, you know, it makes no sense. That's why it's like in higher tier. But yeah. I don't remember if I have the coins. No. I do. I do. I kept it. Like we tried to do the I'm short icon where my feet don't touch the floor when I'm sitting. That's not the case, but you know. And it's fun when we're looking at it from here, but it doesn't make any sense. Because when you have your emote at 28 by 28, it doesn't look like anything. It you don't understand what it is. We discarded it. Yeah. So, all that. Like same thing, my initial emote face might be more aligned with what you want to have because you have more beard compared to what I did afterward. But I had like different glasses shapes and face shapes, and then I went into something that is a bit more aligned. I tried like movements as well to see if I could. But at the end of the day, the emotes that are the most used are the flash emotes that are like subscriber only for free. Just because, well, that's that. I mean, that's why. There's no need for an explanation on this one. But yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And then again, I showed you this before, right? because I have the bald version, the only thing that I need to do once I have this is change the hairstyle. I just need to add the hairstyle on top, and then I'm good. So, you know. Like if I bleach, if I change color, like right now, for example, let's say I go to the hairdresser and I decide to go full, I don't know, full white. Probably not gonna happen. With a bit more distance in between the two, but I still keep my roots in a way. Like the only thing that I will need to do is going to be something roughly like this to get the output closer to what would be, you know. And I'm kind of done. So there will be a need probably here to get like a more gradientized version of my roots because I know how they grow fast and whatever. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that I need to do there is this. I need like a gradient from there with this at 0% and being exactly there to here and being the roots. And yeah, that's how the roots would kind of work. You know, I don't have to do much more anymore, and I don't like it. I wish I had to do way more stuff for the emotes to have like something that is more aligned with what I want to have, but also, again, emotes that are not people are more used elsewhere. Eh, eh. I would say the best option or the best option, the best thing that you can do is going to be inside jokes from your channels, if you have any, that or thing that makes sense to the people that are in your channel. I understand that you want to have them being your face and the emotions and all these, but if you mainly if you mainly do things that are like yourself, you will end up with stuff like, I mean, I'm taking myself as an example. We don't use my emotes on this channel. We don't use my emotes elsewhere either. Like the only places where my emotes are used is or are the eyes, the high, and the shiny, and the cash here and there, but that's about it. Like most of the other emotes of my face and the emotions and all that are used by myself on others' channels. Just because it's faster for me to just say Colin cry and then have my emotes coming in first because it's the one that I have created and therefore they come here. But you know, I'm probably gonna do Splat, but also Splat is not available right now because I'm not subbed to James. Yeah, I'm not subbed to James now. So, you know, like things that are relatable. So the Figma icon for me makes more sense. The way that I look at the camera most of the time is the reason that I have the eyes in the first place. And because we need to make more money, that's why we have the cash. That's about it. Holy shit. I didn't know. I didn't know. You're welcome. That's cute. Oh. Oh. I've seen these in the past. Yeah. Dramina seems to be like an AI generator as well for or from ByteDance. ByteDance, TikTok, again, they are pretty good when it comes to AI. And look at it. Like they have some issues, obviously, when I'm looking at the ends, when I'm looking at the eyes and the overall things. Nah. When you look at the prompt, they have speech bubbles with the text that you want to have, and then you have the text that they talked about, even though it is broken. Really, really, really simple. Some of them are really good. Again, if you can find a model that works with what you are trying to generate or the style that you are trying to have, you will end up with a good, probable outcome. And look at how simple this is. This could work. If you use TikTok, which I don't think it's the case, but if you do, if you do, they have a my face emote type of thing where you can, let me see if I can just open it without showing you just yet. 1 second. Yeah, so they have like a, you know what, I shouldn't do that. I mean, not that, but I shouldn't do that this way. I should do this instead. If it works. Like I used someone else's picture, obviously, because that's not me. But this is stickers that have been generated from TikTok avatars. And the way that it works is you upload a picture of yourself. Obviously, that's a picture of myself. And then it generates things based on emotions. Yeah, you could just do that. Like, it's a very specific style. I agree. I agree. What? What? You have something. Like, it will generate it. It takes 15 minutes. Yeah. You can just do that right away, right from TikTok. Nothing to do. It will generate your emotes, your stickers. If you remember Bitmoji, if you are old enough, you know, these were extremely popular at some point. And once you had your characters done, you basically had the ability to export any sticker pack that you wanted to. And it's the same thing. Like if you don't want to go through TikTok and you just want to create something through that, you can use Bitmoji. Bitmoji is now, I forgot who owns them. I think it's Snapchat, but I'm unsure. It is Snapchat. So if you're not willing to use Snapchat, I get it. But same thing. You create your avatars right there, and then you're good, you're done. You don't have to do anything with it. If I go back here, which I should have, and I go into Duolingo, right? Same thing. Not saying that it's the easiest way to do stuff, but the avatar generation thing, right? Like, that might be enough for you to get, like, stuff. Like, maybe you need this. Maybe you want, like, a different face expression. And, you know, like, it's, again, you don't need to think too much. And you have that, and you can take screenshot of this. It's not necessarily good. Legally speaking, I don't know how much you can export these things. I have no idea. But you can. Like, you can get there. Maybe I need like different glasses. Maybe I have round glasses today. Maybe I have sunglasses today. Maybe I have different types of glasses today. And they are green. Yes. It's my green glasses today. So, you know, again, main point is you have so much options and tools that already exist. Yeah, like, this is a basic thing of Duolingo. So if you just need to create an account, you do that, and then maybe you need to do like your first whatever practice thing, which I'm doing right now because otherwise freak and shit. Because I can't hear things. Gonna be complicated. Oh, and with the mouse. Oh, I hate this. That's so bad. That's so bad. But yeah, like, I'm repeating myself, but you have so many options. And as you said, you overthink everything, which is good, but also you might just not know, and that's fine. Like, I know these things because I'm using them every day. But if you are not someone that uses these things every day, you might not know what you can do and where you can find things. Like, it's just there. I go to class. Hi, what on it? How are you? How's your day going? Thank you for coming back. I hope you're good. Also, this specific characters, which is can or Ida, the way that it's written in a regular, like, manner makes way more sense. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I did that at the end of my contract with my previous employer, where basically, because I don't take vacation, I don't give a shit. Like, it's just as soon as I had remote work, I kind of started to not need the vacation as much as I thought. And I basically ended up at the end of my contract, when I decided to quit, with roughly 3 months of available time off. So I said, this is my official demission, and because I'm French, we have 3 months of delay in between the day that you say you're gonna leave, like this right, and the day that you're leaving for real. So I quit, and then I put on time off, and I basically took 2.5 months in one go of doing nothing. Good. Was really good. Garden leave? No, I don't think I mean, maybe we do, but I don't know what that is. But maybe we do. I have no clue. Do not know. But yeah. I basically took from May 13th to May, June, July, August 13th, basically. Yeah, the 3 months ish. Oh no, we don't have this. This is the opposite. French wants you to stay in the company for the time that you have resigned or you are being terminated, and basically you have a period where you need to stay in the company to do a transition period, where they hire someone new or you teach everyone else what you know, what they need to know about the work that you're doing in all day. And the overall thing is, well, they don't give you any work. Like, you don't get any more work compared to what you were supposed to do. So you know that you live, so you will not do much stuff. You will not be involved, and therefore it's the most miserable 3 months at the end of your contract. And it's really bad. Like, you're not working, you're not doing anything, and yeah. The unlimited sick days, this is a given here. So the way that it works in France, and specifically the way that it works in Europe, is not you have sick days or you have paid time off, and you need to ask when you can take your time off. It's just, I'm not gonna be there on that day. I'm letting you know. But that's it. Like, you don't have a say. Like, if I'm telling you that I'm sick, or if I'm telling you that I'm not there on that day, I'm not there on that day. You don't have a say. That's the good thing about France compared to like the US or other places. It's just yeah, I'm not gonna be there on that day. I'm not there. That's it. And so sick days are just normal, and paid sick days are a normal thing. Like, if you're just sick, you can stay home, as long as it's not like 3 months out of your contract. But most of the times, it's not like you're sick for 3 days and then you come back to work. And these 3 days are paid sick days by default, because when you're sick, you're paid. That's a French stuff. It's pretty appreciated. What? Yeah, it's not something that the US can do, for sure. For sure. Yes and no. It depends on the things. It's better if you come back with a note from the doctors saying that you were sick, right? The thing is, you are kind of dying in your bed, and getting out to see the doctors is almost impossible because you're sick, right? And then the next day you kind of feel better, so you go back to work. it makes no sense to go to the doctor on the next day to say, can you make me a paper to say that yesterday I was sick, but today I'm fine? Like, it makes no sense. So, unless you have something that is doctor friendly in a way, like let's say I break my leg and I can't do commutes for the next 2 weeks, I need to work at home, or I need to be on rest, right? Bed rest, whatever. That probably has the ability to go to the doctor, have a paper, send a paper, whatever. But most of the time, most of my sick days have been, yo, I'm sick, I'm staying home, dead. And yeah, no need for like a doctor notes or something. Like it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. And they know that. Legally speaking, they would rather have like a doctor notes, but also like you catch a cold. Is it necessary to go to the doctor? No. You know how to fix it. Like by now, you're supposed to know. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, the best thing for me is has always be I'm not sick that often. Sometimes I am, but I'm not sick that often, and so I usually go in the morning, even though I feel kind of bad. I go in the morning, and then midday, like I feel so bad, I need to go home. So they saw me, they saw how I was. They have proof that I was kind of sick, and then they just send me home. So I worked in the morning, even though I didn't, and then doesn't necessarily cost or count as a full off day. That works. It's a good thing. But yeah, the French system gives me the ability to take a day off when there is like a national holiday thing, right? And then so I'm taking like a Friday off, maybe a Monday off. So I'm getting like almost a week off by just taking 2 days. You know, like that's the way to do it. Jeannie, hi, welcome in. How are you? How have you been? How's the day going? You arrived kind of close to the end. Right there. But yeah, like vacation, sick days, all of that is basically interesting. Is yeah, it's basically just a notice in France. Like yeah, I'm not there tomorrow. I'm not there I mean tomorrow is a bit fast or short noticed. So usually it's like a week before, like, oh yeah, next week I'm not there. Basically if I don't know if I still have it. Let me check. The other files, past files. I don't know if I did. I probably didn't. Oh no, I did. Yeah, exactly. Same thing here. So basically, we had like daily, weekly, what happened this week type of thing that we had, and so I did like a full slide system to make sure that we had something to showcase and to share, and that everyone had like a design way of sharing the content. The thing is, usually what happened on my stuff was like nothing much. I'm out on Monday, right? Like, side note on my slide of the week was I have landed in Japan. So have fun without me, and I will be out on Monday. Like next Monday I'm not there. That's it. And yeah. And then just to, send them stuff, I just put some pictures, and that's about it. But yeah, like that whole thing, that whole system of out on Monday is the way that I used to take my days off. Basically, it's because we had these meetings on Tuesdays for some reasons. It basically ended up being like, learned that I would be out on Monday on the Tuesday. And that's about it. Otherwise, they didn't know. They would not know. So, yeah. It happens. I think I probably have, like, plenty of them that are, like, out on that day. Also, this auto layout switch has been so broken. Ugh. And I usually did that in a like small fonts, right? It's written on the slide, but they don't necessarily know. Yeah, right. Not here tomorrow. Like on the full Tuesday morning, they just learned that I wasn't there. The next day happened. But yeah, that's the type of thing I used to do. But yeah, also finally got around to remove you. That happens. Did you not have like a personal account type of thing with access to Figma? Or did you not save your content stuff? Bad. Bad. You should have kept it. You should have kept it. Would have made more sense. Ah. Yes. I am going to send you somewhere that is calm. At least that should be calm. Calmer than me. I don't know. I am tired. I need sleep. I'm sending you to Potbot. So, as always, the VOD is going to be on YouTube because it's good and it's safe and all that. And then if you have questions and I'm not live, it's going to be on Discord. And if you want to ask question when I'm live, it's going to be on Friday. And yeah, as always, if you want to learn Japanese, Can is really good. We do like it. But otherwise, you can give me some money if you want to. Prove that you like it. I'll see you, however, on Friday or another time. You're right. You won. Congrats. Congrats. That is pretty cool. And yeah, eat something, drink something, be kind to each other. You know the drill. I'll see you all on Friday. Bye.